Peace and blessings. So I just attempted to go live. Little did I know I needed a whole bunch of software that I had to download and stuff like that to go live. So it didn't work out. But other than that, this video is going to be about African Americans, ain't African or American. And just hitting on some deep points that I feel is the cause of why, as African American, Black, I like to say Afro-Indigenous people of America are in this state of searching for their background, for their truth. You know, a lot of us, we're not settling for the religions anymore. We're not settling for the Islamic culture, the Moorish culture, the Jesus culture. We're not settling for any of that stuff anymore. A lot of us are feeling like there is so much more to the story, and not only that, there's been so much gunk being unveiled within these religious institutions, or within the Jesus culture and the Islamic culture and the Moorish culture, just everything that we have clung on to, because we're so thirsty for the truth. We're so thirsty for our power. We're thirsty for our power. And if we get a little taste of something, we get a little taste of our power, it's like, you know, we feel empowered, and so we kind of take stuff and run with it. And I feel like over the past few decades, you know, I haven't even been here for all of them, but I feel like over the past few decades, we really just have been clinging to any form of empowerment, endearment that comes our way, and those things are stepping stones and have been stepping stones. I realized in my own experience, you know, no knowledge is concrete. You know, knowledge is an never-ending journey. It's a never-ending flux that you kind of go through. But it should lead you to a revelation. It should lead you to a discovery. All knowledge should lead you to a discovery. And with the knowledge of seeing that, you know, we are indigenous to this land, this American land, has ruffled a lot of people's feathers in the Black community and in communities that aren't the Black community. You know, the Mexican community, the people who have identified themselves as Native Americans for the past 100 years. You know, it's making people agitated with us because we are still evolving into our fullness. But the reality is, we will forever ruffle these people's feathers. We will forever get on these people's nerves, including our own people. I wouldn't even say our own people, but, you know, people who aren't ready for the original people, the primordial people of this earth, to come into their full power, to come into their full fruition. The reason that everything is happening the way it is happening on earth is because the people of this earth have forgotten who they are. Okay, the memory has been wiped out, wiped clean. Okay, you think of every other race or every other background of people, especially indigenous Indian culture, indigenous Asian culture, indigenous African culture. Like, it seems like everywhere around the world, they've held on to their indigenous roots, their indigenous primordial ancestral knowledge to some degree. I'm not going to say in totality, because the colonialization and all the things like that, I mean, it's all over, and it's taken out a lot of the ancient wisdom. It's taken out a lot of the ancient understanding of who we are and our power here. And so everywhere around the world, you can find a slither of it. You can find some type of something, you know, a monk in the mountains, you know, somebody in the Indian temple, you know, some people close to the Incan ruins, you know, who still hold on and have some understanding of the ancient knowledge. But when you get here to America, when you get here to North America, in the United States of America, all of a sudden, that knowledge isn't as prevalent, and it isn't as, I would say, as strong or as supple as it is in all of these other areas, where you can still come readily have these ancient medicinal practices, ancient spiritual practices. You can see them being done. But here you've got to, it's almost like it's non-existent. And that's because the original people, the original ancient people, have forgotten a big part of everything that is a part of them, a big part of their ancestry. They've forgotten so much. I mean, think about it. When you think about what your mom passed down to you, and what her mom passed down to her, and, you know, your great grandma, like, out of all of that time that's passed, how much information, how much real knowledge, real ancient wisdom has been passed down to you from them. And when I think about my own family, I can say that not too much has been passed down. And so I want to change that. I mean, now is the time for that to change. Now is the time for us to really understand that this intuition that we have, this emotional overstanding that we have, when it comes to, especially, you know, women, the Afro-Indigenous women in our communities, we've got so much power, but we give it all away. A lot of us give it all away. But that's changing now. It's changing to where you have the powerful women who came up before us, you know, and they did the work. They took the initiative to change and to divulge and to listen to their intuition, to where they're at a place that they can teach us now. Queen Afua is a big example of that, you know. And there are so many other elder women just like her, or I wouldn't even say elder, but powerful women just like her, doing that exact same thing. But as women, as Afro-Indigenous women, I think it is so important for us to really start trusting our intuition and our emotionalities and our gut instinct much more than we currently are. And this is the basis of our memory. This is the basis of the memory that we lost, that we're, you know, end up clinging to all of these false religions and all of these indoctrinations and all of these sadistic people who have no soul, no regard for life, the feminine energy. They're leeching onto us. They're leeching onto us, and it's all because we don't remember. We don't remember. We don't remember who we are. So it's time now that we start to truly remember who we are. There are so many documentaries, and there are so many things that we can watch, and YouTube videos. Kudos to some of my favorite YouTubers, which is Dane Calloway and Kuramayo and Young Pharaoh too. And there are many more, people out there who are bringing us the facts, who are deliberately showing us, the facts that I feel has broken down and proven what my intuition and so many other people's intuition has already been saying for a very, very long time. For a very, very long time. I'm laughing because I'm not old. I'm not old, and I wouldn't consider myself in this physical body to have been here that long. But I know that my soul is ancient, and I see that my soul is here for a very divine purpose, and that is to help wake people up. That is to help shine a very big light on what is real, on what's present in our reality, what's present in our existence, which is that it is time for us to start seeing ourselves, who we are, as primordial beings of this earth. I love that Hidden Colors came out and sparked that flame inside of me personally, to start really asking more questions and seeing more things. But the more things I learn, and the deeper I dig, my only conclusion is that we are the primordial and original beings of this earth. And a lot of people have convinced us that, we don't come from earth. We are a celestial people. We come from extraterrestrials and people who aren't from this earth. And that is not true. I don't feel like that's true at all in any essence. I do feel as though that we are related to some celestial beings that have come here, because some celestial beings, I feel, have primordial lineage. It's almost like, like siblings, like a relationship. There's a family dynamic between some celestials that we have. But as I stated in my Yahweh is Awa video that I made, that of every place that you go to, whether it be Earth, whether it be some other star system in the galaxy, some other celestial body in the galaxy, that there is an original being of these places, and that their bodies were designed to thrive within these places because they are the original beings of those places. And so we are the primordial beings, the primordial essence of the planet Earth, of the realm of Earth. And it's more than being indigenous. It's more than being aboriginal, because, aboriginal really means to abhor the original, which means to hate the original. But anyway, that's that's more on etymology and all of that, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But it's more than being, I'm American, I'm not African. It's more than that. It's so much deeper than that. It's about remembering that we are the primordial force of this earth, and we are in tune with the spirit of this earth. We are in tune with the spirits all around us, but we cannot be in tune if we can't remember, if we choose not to remember, and we choose to keep allowing people to force onto us their doctrine, their beliefs, their thought patterns, everything that everything that is pretty much forced onto us through subconscious and conscious conditioning, so on and so forth. And so it's time for us to start building, or I would say creating, coming together and creating individually and communally a spiritual force field that obliterates these psychic attacks, that obliterates these psychic forces that are almost trying to leech onto us. You know, as black women, we don't really think much of, y'all don't really think much. I'm not even going to include myself because I pulled myself out of that a long time ago. But why don't you think much about the way you wear your hair? Why don't you think much about the things that you put on your skin? Why don't you think much about the way you carry yourself and things of that nature? And I understand the answer is simple. It's all about survival, right? Because you feel like in order to live and be happy in this realm, you have to subscribe to certain things, to certain ways of being, to certain ways of thinking, because the status quo and the norm and your family and all those things, they've subscribed to it. But let me tell you, the longer that you ignore your intuition, the longer that you ignore your emotions and you don't act and you don't lead by example, the longer that you subdue your soul, that you subdue your spirit, will be the longer you will have to deal with all the complaints that the world has to complain about, be it plastic pollution, animals going extinct, police brutality, you know, inequality. All of the chaos that you see in the world is directly linked to the way the primordial people of this earth have been treated, and how they have been wiped out memory-wise, wiped out emotionally. So when you feel something, when you have an emotional capacity to actually touch something, right? Because when we feel something, we're touching something. You can't feel nothing if you ain't touching nothing. That's common sense. So when you are feeling something spiritually, it comes in the form of an emotion. And you are touching on a memory, on an ancient memory, and it's time to start listening. It's time to start listening. We are the primordial people of this earth. Nothing will change until we start recognizing ourselves as the primordial people of this earth. And, you know, do what it is that you can. Do what it is that resonates with you in regards to, you know, how you identify yourself and things like that. But when it comes to like overly identifying with these titles, you know, we get so happy when we get a little taste of the truth. You know, yes, we are not African American, we are indigenous. Yes, we you know, yes, we have found out some things about, you know, the Moorish culture and what the Moors had created with the Europeans while they were here. And yes, we can benefit from those things by understanding how to use the the system and play with the system, but I need y'all to see that it's deeper than these things. It's deeper than these things. So when it comes to navigating and moving around in this society and living life, yeah, do what you do, you know, because when it comes to climbing, you have to use whatever stone, rock, edge, whatever you can use to climb to get to the top. But don't ever forget what it's really all about and what you even climbing for. What are you even climbing for? Okay? So I just wanted to make this quick video. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, look at that foot. My name is Asaya Mystic. I am a spiritual teacher, oracle, priestess, and yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe. Okay, peace.